Hello and welcome to episode 3 of our Achieving the Vision series. My name is Alyssa Silva and I will be the facilitator today. This episode is going to focus on key takeaways from some of our best presentations from the 2023 Tour de Shared Vision event. And here with me today, I have Dr. Marie Martin and Miriam Fadel. We're going to be talking about innovating completion pathways for California stopouts. So welcome, Miriam and Dr. Marie. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us, Alyssa. Pleasure to be here and to share the work that is going on at UCR around supporting California stopouts.
Before we start, I'd love it if you could just give a brief introduction for both of you.
Sure, of course. My name is Dr. Marie Martin. I'm the Associate Dean of Academic Affairs at UC Riverside Extension and Director of Degree Completion Programs. Miriam?
Hi, Alyssa. Hi, Marie. And hi, everybody. My name is Miriam Fadel, and I'm one of the UC degree completion students. So I'm a returning student at UCR, and I'm excited to be here with y'all.
Perfect. I'm excited to get into the presentation and hear more about it.
Okay, great. Thanks, Alyssa. So just to kind of cover a session roadmap, we'll talk a little bit about UCR's program and the details and strategies that we've used. We'll share a little bit of the testimonials, and then hopefully we'll have some time for Q&A and discussion. Just a little bit of background in terms of UCR. So UC has more than 280,000 students and 27,000 or 22,700 faculty and staff. Among other UCs, we are top 1% of universities worldwide, number 1 or 2 for social mobility over the last 5 years by US World News, and we've also been ranked most transformative public university by Money Magazine. We're one of 10 UCs in the system. UC Riverside itself has 26,000 enrollments. About 23,000 of those students are undergraduate students and approximately 4,000 graduate students. The UC system has what are known as extensions or continuing education and professional studies divisions at 9 out of the 10 UCs. UCR Extension serves approximately 6,000 non-matriculated students from the community annually, providing them with professional certificates and credentials in areas like business, education, technology, law, healthcare, languages, etc. As of 2022, we offer academic credit and support for stopout students who are seeking to complete their UC degree. A little bit about statistics on stopouts nationally. The National Student Clearinghouse report for 2023 came out with data showing 40.4 million stopout students in the United States. 6.6 million of those students reside in California. According to our data, we have about 131,000 UC stopouts in the system who started but did not finish between 2000 and 2018. For our program, we've been focusing primarily on the 14,000 UCR stopouts that left between 2008 and 2020. Just a little bit, I know this is a small slide, but I'm hoping that you can see this. It talks a little bit about statistics for our stopout population. They are more likely to be from underserved populations. And while many of them do stop out with lower GPAs or in less good standing, a significant portion of our students leave in good standing simply because life happened. And we are seeking to support both students who left not in good standing and in good standing. 57% of the population at UCR is our first generation students, and 47% are from underrepresented minority populations. Just to give you an understanding of the timeline that led to our existing program, in 2019, Governor Newsom allocated $15 million to UC extensions via the UC Office of the President. In 2020, UC Merced and UC Santa Barbara were awarded funding to start degree completion programs at their campuses. And in 2022, UCR submitted a proposal in partnership with UC Davis's Continuing and Professional Education Department. We were funded in July of 2022, $4.8 million to launch the degree completion program. And as a part of our proposal, we proposed the creation of what we call the University of California Reengagement Consortium, which is a collective collaboration between the 4 UC campuses that are implementing degree completion and reentry programs using this funding from the 2019 state budget. Our deadline for that was 2024, but we've recently received an extension to do this work through 2026. As I mentioned, the UCRC is a collaborative of the 4 campuses that are noted here. To support students for both degree completion and professional certificates. So we operate from a very student-centered perspective. Our goal is to lead the student where they want to go. That said, even though our specialty is professional certificates, the vast majority, I would say probably 99% or more, are interested in degree completion. The consortium works together as a community of practice. Our staff at the leadership and advising levels work collaboratively and meet regularly to discuss sort of best practices in supporting this population. We are sharing our data with one another on the students that we are serving to help inform the system of best practices for returning students and re-engagement. To focus on doing the work that we have with the limited resources that we've implemented shared operations, which means some of our campuses are actually sharing staffing as a strategy to maximize the reach that we have and the return on the small grant investments that we have. Well, not small, millions of dollars, but still we want to make it go as far as possible in supporting students. And then finally, we're working together as a consortium to develop strategic solutions for supporting stop-out students through advocacy for cross-campus articulation of courses, improving policies to support online learning access, which is a significant need for our students, as well as providing customized one-on-one support for students. So UCR's program supports former UCR students, former UC students who attended other campuses, as well as California residents with some college and no degree that wish to transfer. Apologies for the slide being a little bit wonky in this format, but hopefully you can see. We had about 14,000 UCR stop-outs. 11,000 of them never completed. And yeah, I don't know why it looks so funky. It's supposed to say about 3,500 of them left in good standing. So for our initial pilot population, we focused on those 3,500 who left in good standing and did not complete elsewhere. Our student demographics, on average, these students are 27 years old. 68% completed at least 2 years. This data point, 36% are 1 to 2 courses from completion, actually comes from a research study beyond UCR of all of the UC stop-outs that was conducted by the University of California, San Diego. They were also funded some money from the 2019 state budget to do some institutional research and understand the student population across the system. What we also know is that these students are geographically dispersed. And they are not necessarily near the campuses that they reside or that they started at any longer. And as I mentioned before, they're more likely to be historically underrepresented and unemployed than UC undergrads and other Californians. Again, this map is super, super tiny, but each of these maps shows the GIS dispersal of students from their campuses. So you can see they're really spread out all over. But between the 4 members of the consortium, we're able to cover and serve as a degree completion and reentry hub for the entire system across nearly the entire state. Some motivations for reentry, and I'm sure my colleague Miriam will be able to speak to this in her own experience, are that students reported wanting to achieve a personal goal, being a role model for others, just the personal satisfaction of completing, to increase their income potential, better obtain a job or promotion, and to change their career. Some of the needs and challenges that we have are that students reported needing accelerated courses, financial aid, flexible course scheduling, guidance from someone who understands the re-enrollment process, and they were really looking for education benefits that would be given from their employer. We've been able to identify some of the institutional challenges that we have in meeting these goals and to consider strategies for overcoming some of those barriers for students. I won't go into too much detail on that, but maybe if there are questions later on, I can speak to that. The degree completion program structure, we offer holistic advising and proactive outreach to students who have left the UC system. So the advising staff already on campus are incredible and they work very, very hard. Their ratio loads are very high. And so the majority of their effort needs to be focused on students that are already matriculated. Our extension offered degree completion programs are able to augment that support by providing additional proactive outreach to the stopout population to re-engage them towards their degree. Our advisors work with each student individually to develop completion pathways and options for them. We support them in alleviating barriers and challenges that they may face. We have a specific appointed person in the financial aid office that is able to provide guidance around financial aid for readmissions. And we are also able to provide small grant support for either the payment of delinquent account fees, payment of readmissions fees, or even tuition waivers for courses that are taken at extension towards their degree. The courses that we offer at Extension are flexible and accessible, and we help to guide students whenever possible towards online course options in order to help them complete. Some of the strategies that we've worked on in partnership with the colleges and schools and on campus are to restructure the withdrawal and readmissions website to better support stop-outs, residency waivers, and creative pathways. My colleague Miriam here is also working on an additional student-led initiative to help facilitate a smoother readmissions process. I'll let her talk about that. We're also collaborating across the UC campuses to share resources via the consortium. As I mentioned, we have a liaison in the financial aid office. And then as a result of this program, we have actually strengthened the workflow with colleges and schools on campus. And in addition to serving stop-out students, we've become a kind of retention mechanism to streamline the workflow for students who are recently academically dismissed. I like to say, you know, they've left the house. Technically, they're inactive, but they're still on the front porch. And so through this program, we're able to keep them on the properties, metaphorically speaking, and help them reach their goals of degree completion. Our advisors guide them through the readmissions process. We identify missing degree requirements, connect students with their major advisors on campus, and then bridge the gap to different campus resources. We also determine eligibility for grant support for students. To date, we've conducted over 1,600 manual degree audits. Actually, that number is much higher. These numbers were pulled from our presentation back in October. And the numbers that you see below that have also increased. We've graduated more. We've had 4 file to graduate, 9 readmit, 29 additional readmissions, 13 working with department advisors directly on campus, 17 seeking readmission eligibility via concurrent enrollment because they left not in good standing, and so they need to improve their GPA through open enrollment coursework and extension. And then we're advising an additional 112 in progress. And again, actually, these numbers are even higher than what you see today, but that's from our last legislative report. So just some testimonials, and I won't read all of these because I really think maybe Miriam sharing her experience would be the most compelling. But Edwin, who was a fall 2023 readmit, said, and that's a pseudonym, by the way, returning to complete my degree with UC degree completion was a life-changing decision. After facing personal and financial challenges, I realized the importance of education for a better future. My goal is to pursue a career in cybersecurity to protect my family and others from digital threats. The program's advising and support have been exceptional, and the grant I received was a tremendous help. If you're considering coming back to finish your degree, don't hesitate. UC degree completion can make a real difference. It's an amazing program backed by amazing people, and I'm grateful for the opportunity they provided me. We did it, meaning the advisor and the student working together. I'm readmitted. I'm crying the happiest tears right now. Thank you so, so much. I wouldn't be back on campus if it wasn't for you. I seriously cannot thank you enough for all your help. It feels like I have a future again now. I greatly, greatly appreciate your time. I'm writing to let you know that I finally heard back from my campus advisor last Friday. I'm super happy and excited to hear that my application has been approved for my winter return. I was not able to get to you until now because of the long weekend. I really want to keep you in the loop because you've been such tremendous help since day one, and I know there's still a lot to do before my return, but I really just want to stay on top of everything and make it a seamless process. Like always, thank you for all your support. Anyway, I won't read through all of these. I'm not sure if I can share this video, if it will. I can try. Let's see if it works. Nope, it won't work. But with that, are there any questions?
Those are a lot of great testimonials. I just, off the top of my head right now, do you receive a lot of those like emails thanking you for all your help and getting them back on the right track and completing their degree? That's awesome.
We do, and I think it really makes it makes the work and the effort really worthwhile. You know, I think you saw the numbers. There are 14,000 stop outs just at UCR alone, not including the other UC campuses. And you know, I think to date at UCR specifically have re-engaged about 400 students. When you hold that up against 14,000, it doesn't seem like a lot necessarily, but for those 400 students, we've made a tremendous impact in their life. So getting to hear from them and understand the ways in which they were affected positively by the program's support systems and resources makes it all worth it to me. So
I'm glad to hear that. And I want to hear more from Miriam. I want to see what your side of the story is and how you fit into all this.
Yeah, so, well, firstly, thank you so much to my colleague Marie, to who I truthfully would not be here without. So, and Camilla, my academic advisor at the UC degree completion program, I mean, just seeing my own slide in the presentation brought tears to my eyes, and Alfredo and Edwin's too. So I will say, like, I'm here because I stood on the shoulders of giants. And I come as one voice, but I speak for 14,000 students and hopefully decreasing, you know, because of the amazing work that the UC degree completion program is doing. In my reentry, I really was so compelled, so moved, and so brought back to life that I was like, how can I support this program? Like, how can I support all the amazing work that these individuals are doing to make such a tremendous impact on not just my life, but other individuals who have stopped out and recently returned. And so, you know, in kind of rematriculating to campus and really wanting to be an advocate for students currently on the campus, but those who haven't come back yet, I've created a student-led initiative called Our Way, which is reentry without any yield, that will respectively direct students to their UC degree completion programs and help streamline and cross-pollinate readmission processes, just so that, you know, we can work together to really, you know, see that 14,000 hopefully go down to zero. So it's been an adventure of a lifetime, and really and truly, like, I couldn't imagine myself being anywhere else than right here, right now. So thank you again, Marie, and thank you, Alyssa, and thank all of you.
Seeing you get, you know, emotional over hearing those testimonies was really sweet. So it makes me curious, for you personally, I'm sure that there's people watching that have stopped out as well. Could you share maybe why you stopped out and what was your motivation to come back?
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much for asking me that, Alyssa. So I um I stopped out the quarter that I should have been graduating. And so I think, you know, people's first reaction when I tell them that is like, why did you not just finish? You were right there. I don't know. I've thought a lot about this and discussed this, and I don't know. The only reason that I can really come up with is that it wasn't my time. And I think I was meant to, you know, stop out or drop out so I could drop in on myself and figure out who it was that I was supposed to be as a person. And really and truthfully, I think so I could come back 7 years later and, be a part of this amazing mission to advocate for other students and to see other students rematriculate, and to tell people too, truthfully, that, it's never too late to be the person that you could have been or you want to be. There's not going to be a day in your life where it's too late. And I think one of the biggest motivators to why I readmitted was not just for, yes, I wanted to complete things that I hadn't completed yet, but a couple years prior, I had watched a commencement speech for a doctoral program at UCR, and the speaker actually said something at the end of it that moved me and got me kind of like, I want to come back. She said, we are all counting on you, right? And referencing to being the light and to the University of California's ethos, which is fiat lux. And so I was like, oh, somebody I've never met is counting on me. I have to go back. And so it was a process, and definitely like once I was, introduced to the UC degree completion program, accelerated by far. I mean, it would not have been possible. I don't think I really could have done it by myself. So motivation to come back was a commencement speech and wanting to finish something I started. So that's a little bit on that.
Miriam, I'm having a revolution. I'm having like a revelation. Did you know that was me?
Yeah, so
I was the commencement speaker.
I was rewatching
Oh my God.
it.
I was the doctoral student.
Wow, that's like weirdly got me emotional. I have chills.
That's really
so not at the time I didn't know, but I was rewatching it. I was like, where's that speech? Because I had like made 2 different YouTubes, and I have like this inspirational video that I like always save everything to it, but I like restrict it so only I can see, because I'm like, if anyone else sees that I'm literally just watching commencement speeches all day, they're gonna be like, what are you doing? And I was like, wait, and I was like, Marie, and I'm like, that's my Marie. And so yeah, and I really, like I said, I couldn't have told you at the time why I was like, I'm leaving, but it just makes complete sense that was something I had to go through. But I think for those who are at risk, I mean, there are so many options now, and there's so many resources, and they're so accessible. And for those who are seeking to readmit, this program is amazing, and they really and truly do make things so much more transparent and so much more accessible. And like I said, I literally would not be here had I not stood on the shoulders of giants. So thank you again, Marie.
Oh, thank you, Miriam. I'm excited. Miriam's a great example of the snowball effect that we don't fully see, So like I said, the numbers don't seem like a lot when you hold it up against 14,000. It's about a 10%, I think, response rate from the 3,500. But each student has an impact in their community, in their life, and the work that Miriam is doing now on the student-led initiative and in partnership with us is exciting. And you can never predict the full impact of the work that we do. So.
That's really special. Did you know, Miriam, that like, did you ever tell Marie until now that she was?
No, because I didn't realize. So I would have graduated in 2017. So I was like, I do not want to watch my own commencement, or what would have been my own. So in like 2019 is when I was like, oh, I want to come back. And so I was like, let me look at 2018. And for some reason, when I was like searching this up, I think that was like one of the first videos that actually popped up. And I was like, I love the way she speaks. Like, I want to listen to what she has to say. Like, this might really inspire me, because she is literally PhD. Let's see, like, how she got here. And that never, ever, like, faded from my memory. I was like, we are counting on you. It was like she was speaking personally to me. And I'm sure, like, anybody who, was there that day that listened to you, Marie, or has come across that video, like you said, you have no idea the impact that you're going to have on somebody. And I think it's amazing when you're able to share that with somebody. Like, you really touched a special part of my life and my heart, and re-inspired me. And so, and then anytime I would talk to anybody about Our Way, they're like, Marie Martin. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, and then we actually finally got to meet and talk. And I was like, this is like a full circle moment. And I'm, like, blessed tenfold. And I am always saying thank you. But no, not until my brain recently was like, wait, those are the same people. But yeah, amazing speech. And if y'all haven't watched it, like, do so. It's amazing.
Yeah, I graduated from, I'm a Highlander myself, graduated from UCR for my doctoral program, and I happened to give the commencement speech that year. So that's interesting.
We'll have to put that link in the description box then, so
Yeah.
everybody can become inspired. But before we end, just a few questions for Marie and Miriam, if you can answer as well. How does the extension degree program adapt to the unique needs and circumstances of individual students, considering the diverse backgrounds and experiences of those reentering the educational system?
Yeah, so our model is, as I said, very student-centered. We're not trying to track students down a specific path. We want to be their, guide on the side to help them get there. Our advising team, although there's only 2 at the moment, we are small but mighty in terms of providing really individualized, holistic advising support for students. When I say we did manual degree audits, I'm not joking. We manually look at every single student of those thousands of students' degrees, identify what their need is. And then when the advising staff meets with them, they're about understanding them, not just as a student, but as a person. What are all the needs that they have? Do they need support with academic success and tutoring? If so, we can connect them through with funded support for the Academic Resource Center. Are they, do they just need someone to listen to them in terms of what they're going through because they have familial obligations and responsibilities? And are there potential resources we can connect them with on campus to help them still meet their goals regardless? I think really just the hands-on, individualized advising support from our team of dedicated advisors that really believes in the mission of what we're doing is crucial. I don't know if Miriam has anything she'd like to add on that from her experience.
Yeah, so to echo Maria a little bit, I think what the UC degree completion program has done is turn complexities into compassion. Right away, that was the first, like, oh, I felt like I could talk to my advisor, and Camilla really helped destigmatize the often stigma and shame around stopping out. I felt like I was a person again for the first time in years, rather than just, oh, you didn't finish college, or, you dropped out. And she really listened to me. And I've never seen somebody take so many notes and then be like, okay, so we talked about this. I'm going to get you in contact with this person, this person, this person. And then really did it. And followed through with me. And so her and I still meet very regularly. I update her like all the time, as well as Marie. This is happening, small win for us, or potentially big win. And so, but having that human, that person to really connect with and talk to, and instead of just, oh, here's a form, fill it out, and you'll hear back in X amount of time. It's invaluable. So I think, had I also not had that human contact, and I had not had somebody to say, like, you're still a person, and I see you, and you're valid, and it's not too late. It reinforced and reignited everything that I was, like, kind of sparking in myself. So it's been amazing.
That's a great answer. So looking ahead, what are the key priorities and maybe future plans for the extension degree completion program? How do you envision the program evolving to continue its success?
Yeah, so looking ahead, I'm excited to be working alongside Miriam with our student-led initiative because I think the more effort we have towards serving this population, the better. We're going to be expanding our outreach in phase 2 to include students who left UCR more recently, so between 2020 and present, as well as reaching out to a population that we were, or a contact list that we were able to access, thankfully, due to our partnership with Growing Inland Achievement and their partnership with College APP of California residents in the region with some college and no degree attainment, as well as some of the targeted population of students who left in not good standing. So I think we're going to see, I think we're going to potentially see some increases in our return rate because we're targeting populations that left more recently. And I think some of the data shows that recency is helpful in at least the return rate. And I think we're also going to be expanding our staffing that are allocated towards this project. So we'll be hiring another advisor to support this initiative in the coming year, as well as a shared position with UC Merced, and just more outreach, more reach, more policy advocacy at the system-wide level. We're actually engaged in a research project through some additional funding from the Office of the President to look specifically at what types of interventions might be helpful in maximizing re-enrollment and readmissions. And so, yeah, I'm just excited about what's happening with our program.
Next time we have you guys on, I'm excited to see those numbers grow even more.
Absolutely.
Well, is there anything else that you guys like to add before we close out this episode?
I think I would just maybe leave the audience with some questions and thinking about what they could do. What barriers make it challenging to retain students in their own institution and organizations? What structural institutional barriers keep students from re-entering? What solutions or strategies have they or could they use to address those barriers? What kinds of cross-organizational efficiencies could be created to help better serve the stop-out population? As I mentioned, we're doing shared operations or shared staffing. What partnerships might be formed to better serve reentry students, either within your own institution across departments or with other institutions or nonprofit organizations? What is one takeaway that you learned from this presentation? Hopefully you took something away from it that can be useful to you. And then finally, I would just like to share our contact information. And sorry, Miriam, I don't have yours up here, but I didn't want to assume that you wanted to be contacted. So this is up here.
Amazing. Thank you guys so much. Miriam, is there anything else you'd like to add? A final message?
Well, just thank you to everybody who was able to join us. Thank you again, Alyssa. Thank you, Marie. Thank you, UC Degree Completion, for giving back a part of my story and helping me finish my narrative and being able to add to yours. And then last note, and I always share this. Sometimes life doesn't go as planned. It just goes immeasurably better. So what gets in our way becomes our way, but there's more to you than what's right in front of you. So I want to challenge and encourage those watching to actively go after that, because as Marie said, we are counting on you.
That is beautifully, beautifully said. Thank you again, Miriam and Marie. Thank you so much for joining us. We have your contact information right here, and you can go ahead and scan this QR code to visit the UCR Extension Degree Completion Program website. So all that information will be readily accessible for those watching. Thank you once again, and take care.
Thank you, Alyssa. Thanks, everyone.